Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today I'm going to talk about, I just put this on my Instagram account yesterday. It's a book called Handson Learning with ScikitLearn and TensorFlow. Actually, I ordered it for the iPhone. Anyways, this book is really eye-opening. There's a couple of ways to attack machine learning. Now this is just generic machine learning, not specific for finance, but it's really good in terms of there's a lot of aspects of machine learning when it comes to setting up your programming environment. It's all in Python, the different frameworks. There's also the more difficult part, which is the math. The math is probably the most difficult for me, at least, because I'm not strong in it. As a result, I just wanted to talk about the book overall. I'm about quarter way through, gone through I think 3 or 4 chapters. So first of all, I don't have any affiliation with the book, but I do like it. I like it a lot. One of my customers, students, whatever, pointed it towards me a review on it online, and I listened to that review, and it was pretty convincing. Checked out the preview on Amazon, and here we are. So essentially, the reason I like it is just the fact that you can do, I don't even know where to begin. It doesn't go too deep into the Python, but it'll talk about 4 pages to set up your Jupyter project, how to do your basic installing packages and modules that are required, the dependencies, and set everything up. So it doesn't put a lot of emphasis on that. But where the emphasis is on is a learning from ground zero with machine learning. In terms of knowledge in Python, that's hard to say. I don't think you need to know a lot, but you probably need to know the basics, no different than if you were to take my course. But you just got to know the basics of data frames and some of the constructs of the data structures found in Python. Anyways, going on, the book itself, where it focuses obviously mostly on machine learning, I think one of the key parts of the book, which is really good, is the simplicity of breaking down the math notation. He goes on exactly line by line, play by play on what each, call it symbol, means, the different parameters and variables or matrices or whatever you need. It's a very good foundation to work from to understand that. He does an amazing job. The current chapter I'm in right now talks about that, understanding the under the hood concepts of what each mathematical algorithm does or model or just basically anything to do with math. He stresses it's very important to understand that, and he does one chapter on that, which is really good. Obviously, there's lots of other resources out there to expand on. My fave, of course, is Khan Academy. So, instance, you'll see in some of the Python code a rank, let's say. You can easily go on to Khan Academy and look up what a rank is, because Sal Khan does an amazing job explaining that. So pretty well anyone can learn this. The problem is, do you have the time and do you have the focus? That's the question. And he does go on about the concepts of different steps of data, how to construct the data, how to build a classifier, just a very basic lingo that you would need to understand when you read more advanced machine learning topics. So he goes over pretty well all of the major mathematical modeling out there to build a model, to set up the data structure, how to classify it, how to optimize it, how to clean it up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he does all that. And he does an amazing job. That's the best part of the book outside of the math part. It's a fairly big book, about 500 pages, the one I have. But what I'm doing and how I do attack these type of topics is I quickly skim them to understand the lingo and just get a gist of what is being taught in the book. So what I'm saying is there's lots of very detailed exercises in there. He's got a GitHub repository, very detailed on all the different steps. So there's no excuse not to be able to learn this stuff. It's just a matter of going through it bit by bit, line by line, and just spending the time on it. My way of doing it is totally different from most people. As I said, I just skim over it really fast, which I'm doing now. I've already gone through about 500 pages in the last 2 days. Or not 500 pages, but it's sorry, in the digital version it's 2,000 pages, so I'm about 500 pages, so I'm a quarter way through. So it's an amazing process, and when it comes to trading, I'm going through talking to we'll call them potential customers for a new business model I'm very interested in doing, and I'm seeing over the last even year. Over the last year, what's important in terms of building models, building trading strategies, and call them trading bot strategies, systems. They're all the same. It's different definitions for different people, but they're all the same. And they to build and look for the patterns. There's much easier ways to do it. What I've already read in the book shows you how to do that visually through using something like Matplotlib, and just using the different graphs, looking. The very first chapter 2, just goes over a real world modeling or machine learning model that you'd build for assessing houses in California, and you use the latitude and longitude, and part of the visualization is to be able to see virtually the state of California based upon that type of data, being able to clean it up. Another example is going through reading some like 70,000 different ways of writing out the numbers and and letters, different combinations of how to classify all that, how to read it, how to know if it's the difference between a 3 and a 5, and that sort of thing. So it's really, really, really important stuff. There is an example in there for for finance, about just predicting from pure typical stock market data, open, high, low, close with the volume. So that's there. But I do think that there's a lot more uses that you can apply into, thanks for the like, I don't get a lot of them, but I do appreciate that. But there's not a lot of examples. I mean, not a lot of examples, but when you go through the exercise that I'm going through and developing a trading bot for crypto or Forex or whatever, you'll quickly see that all the other things that are not finance, but you can easily apply them into the world of machine learning using these other concepts. The hard part is, as I said, is being able to go through the examples and just go through the lingo. It's so much, and every step of the way is something math related, and you got to go put your brain into that, and it's basically being a true quant, we'll call it. So there's that. So this book lays down that foundation. If for everybody who's just joining out, I'll just put the photo of the book I'm talking about. This one right here. Hands-on Machine Learning with ScikitLearn and TensorFlow. One other thing I need to mention is that the book apparently has been updated like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. As you can tell, there's ScikitLearn and TensorFlow 1. Now, Scikit is a very easy primitive framework to work from, but apparently it's not as advanced as something like obviously TensorFlow. When I went to order it, there is a new version out there which includes ScikitLearn, TensorFlow, and Keras. Now, for those that don't know, TensorFlow 2 is going to include Keras as a major feature in TensorFlow 2. So that will be included. So I would just stick with a basic version of this book, and then as you learn more on the framework side and the concepts of machine learning through the GitHub and other sources out there's so many out there, free and paid, whatever, but there's so many of them out there. But as you develop it, you can start to build out these concepts and apply them to whatever framework you choose. He doesn't even use PyTorch, but I personally think from what I'm researching going forward that TensorFlow 2 will be, again, leaps and bounds over PyTorch, because PyTorch is catching up, but you include TensorFlow and Keras against PyTorch, and it still buries PyTorch. So once they include this all into the next big version of TensorFlow 2, it's going to be leaps and bounds. So I'm going to focus on TensorFlow. Sounds more advanced, but it's supposed to be much easier now as well. And moving forward, I'll be able to move into languages like C and C++, and trying to build out the algorithms that can easily lead you into very high-end jobs down the line for high-frequency shops when you go down these steps. But I will say that algorithmic trading is for sure going to be built off of machine learning and the concepts of machine learning. I can see it, and it's like, take what you know now, technical analysis or basic quant or even fundamental, and take all that data and apply it into the world of machine learning, and it's going to be on steroids, like times 100. It's incredible stuff once you get into it. So that's it. Very good book. Excellent to lay down the foundation from. I've got people ordering it already. I would, if you want to really learn about the next generation of algorithmic trading, which is obviously machine learning, but you don't have the knowledge, this is a really good book to order from wherever you want to order from. So don't go to me through an affiliate link. I'm not doing that. But overall, this book is quite amazing. So I would probably recommend it if you're new to math, even applying it, and the coding is not as strict. There is coding in there, but it really, the emphasis is on the machine learning concepts with the underlying math as well as the next important thing. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know if there's more I can do, but I'll probably add more as I go through the book, but I'm about, as I said, 25%. So I thought I'd do we'll call it a partial review. Hopefully I'll help you out, and thanks for watching. And we shall talk to you later, and have a good day. Later.